What's up YouTube, and welcome to KangBrosTV, the cricket section. In this video we're going to touch on the Aussies, and they've been caught ball tampering, specifically I guess Cameron Bancroft, and then I guess the interview after that was given by Stephen Smith about the whole incident, and I mean we were shocked by the whole event itself. We was watching the game live. We literally stopped the tape. I mean, we rewinded it and said, look, what is going on here? Did we actually see that right? And then as we press play, everybody sort of jumped on it and singing what is going on. So let's start with the event itself. I mean, what on earth is going on?
Yeah, it's not on, is it? Like, is
it blatantly ball tampering? Is there no doubt?
Even at the time, I was like, well, that's ball tampering. So that's that's what that is. But I think it's like you say, we were both saying it at the time. We were like, someone do something about this now. Because the ball didn't change. They didn't change the ball. Now that's not good enough as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if they say, the ball looked okay. Listen, the guy's flipping sandpaper on the ball. It's going to change the ball in some form. So it should have been boom. That should have been dealt with.
That's it. The fact that it was evident as well. I mean, the umpires came straight away and had the conversation. If you've got that doubt, for me, is change the ball.
Yeah, and for me, straight away, as soon as I saw it and I said to you, I was like, guilty. He's guilty. That's guilty. That's evident. This way, Stephen Smith come over straight away. I was like, all right, sweet. It wasn't like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't. Hold a minute. Inzamam ul Haq, like years ago, was like, well, we're not playing anymore. If you don't think we're tampering this ball, we're not playing anymore. Whether they were or not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it goes on a lot, but it's end of the day, if you're playing at that level and there's cameras all around the ground, be a bit more tactful, is what I'd say. But it's the fact that he's not gone, well, hold on a minute, I'm not having you for that. If you can't prove it, then whatever. But the fact that it's on the big screen, and he's probably going, shit. Hey, we're fucked here, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's what it looked like. It's not on. That's cheating. That is just plain cheating in the sport. Now, I know that there's people talk about gamesmanship and sportsmanship and the spirit of the game and da-da-da-da. Listen, sledging's one thing. Right, so that's gamesmanship. Trying to get the edge on somebody, trying to wind somebody up. But that is just cheat. That's plain, blatant cheating. And I know it's a highly strung test match or whatever. But
but what's the consequences? Because obviously this has happened before, right? This has happened with other teams and other players, and I guess they're still playing. And I can't remember what the penalties were.
But I know that they sanction bans and things like that. Listen, again, Faf du Plessis has been done twice. For something, I think he had a sweet in his mouth and he tried to rub it on the ball and stuff like that. So he's been done twice, and Philander's been done for scratching the ball, and stuff like that. And it's been happening. The Tendulkar got done and it got overturned, Inzi and stuff like that. So there's been a lot of cases for Athers as well. But I think the thing about this whole situation and why it really frustrates me and why it really winds me up is because of, and I've made points about it before, it's the way that Aussies, sort of trying to give the perception of what they're like in the media, of being this, hey, listen, we do everything above board. We play hard. We'll come at you. We're in your face, but we know we don't go above the line. Right, so let's just talk about this line that they always talk about. We don't cross the line. We don't cross the line. What is this fucking line? Because as far as I'm concerned, that is cheating.
They just make up their own line.
Yeah. So, we can say this and we can say that and we can sledge, but we don't say anything over the line. Of what they said was over the line. That's over the line. I'm sorry, we're not taking that. We're going to kick off. Not on. So this series, Rabada he got done for the alleged, but yeah, that got overturned and rightfully so, as far as I'm concerned.
That was pathetic.
Pathetic. Yeah. De Kock and Warner situation. I got the impression that the way that Warner flew off and how the Aussies, the Lehman came out and other guys protected it, took his back. They were like, well, what was said was out of order. It crossed the line. Well, let's have a look at this now, because fuck me. In the words of Gordon Ramsay, fuck me. What are you gonna? How can you,
Daddy?
What
are you doing?
He's scratching the ball. What are you doing? But you look at that situation now. You can't defend it. Now, when it happened, from that point until the end of the game, when he had to give an interview, Stephen Smith, he came out and said the leadership knew about it. I take responsibility. It's not integrity of this, integrity of that. I knew what was going on. Right now, I'm sorry. You just said accepted full responsibility, you and the management, that we condone cheating. We were okay with it, right? Now listen, as I said, ball tampering, whether you like it or not, it's another thing that it happens. It goes on around the world, but you know, in smaller capacities, right? You know, you get the odd person that will, when they grab the ball, they'll, you know, the odd nail might go into the back of the ball, or when we're fielding, you know, they use their foot to pull it back. They know, the people know what they're doing and stuff like that. They throw the ball in and stuff like that. It goes on, right? But you have to be tactful. But to be using something like that to scuff the ball up, come on, man.
The fact that they said that they knew about it, the leadership knew about it, what does that mean? So what, you're going into the game knowing this... How is that acceptable? So what's the punishment? Should Smith be punished here, what's Bancroft gonna? What does he get in this?
I think I was actually talking to a friend of mine earlier, actually, Gareth, who he plays professionally at the moment, and I said to him, I was like, well, what would you do? And he said, at the end of the day, it's quite clear that, you know, obviously it's not something that's driven by Bancroft, I don't think, because he's got the guy that comes into the interview rooms and gives all these cheeky but innocent interviews, and he's built up the reputation of this innocent, you know, kind of like young guy new to the side. So I think it's a thought out plan, but I think they've realised that this has been the big boys club, you know, the Smiths, the Lehmans. They're like, right, we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do, but he's going to do it because no one's going to expect him of him. So let's, you know, he can do it. You know, we'll do it that way around. It's unacceptable. You know, to come out and say that is unacceptable. They don't want to throw him under the bus. I get that, and that's the only little positive I can say is that, right, okay, we've done it. We've made the decision as a team. We will, you know, die on our swords. Basically, you know, this is what happens. We'll take the responsibility. Now, if you've said that, you've accepted that we were the ones that said, let's do this, right? We're going to do this. We're going to promote it. It's going to be in our game plan. Now, you, my friends, have to cop it. You have to cop the punishment, and it has to be severe. You have to make an example, because people like Duplessis, it was with a sweet, and the other people have done it with a substance on the ball. You can potentially, you could talk your way out of that. You could say, well, look, it's a long day. I need to, you know, keep hydrated or whatever. You can make the things up for it, right? But to take it looked like sandpaper, but they said it was yellow tape, and they put some dirt into it, and they put that into it. Whatever, it's a sandpaper effect, right? So let's just say for now it's sandpaper.
But couldn't they do the same thing that you just mentioned there about sort of, you know, manipulating whatever that was happening? So like you said, the bit of tape. Or I'm sure they'll figure out a way to get out of it.
They can't. The interview, they've come out and said exactly that. It was yellow tape, he put some dirt into it, and he applied it, and he knew what he was doing, right? To have some effect on the ball, to see where it's... They turned around and said it didn't have an effect on the ball. The umpires didn't want to change the ball. That mistake number one, umpire should have changed it immediately because of just... It's unfair on South Africa. The Oppo are trying to gain an unfair advantage, right? And that's simple as that. Now, this whole series has been it's been great cricket to watch. I mean, I don't know about everybody else watching it. I've been loving it, and I can't wait to watch the next sessions, and that is what Test cricket's all about. But this, for me, with all the other things that's gone on, all the animosity within the two teams, the way that Australia, Coach Lehman made a big thing about them being the victims, because apparently the fans have been really going hard at Australia, right? Because the fans have taken it, and he had a really pop at them. He said, "I'm not happy that we've made a complaint." You know, they love to use the media in their favour, right? They love to go out and attack whenever they feel that other people have crossed this so-called line.
Oh, Besto thing.
Yeah, right. And that's my next point I was going to come on to. But this is the use of the media, and what they've done is unacceptable, and it needs to be a severe punishment, because you've accepted that it was a team decision. It was a tactic.
So what is a severe punishment for you? An example?
Well, unfortunately, as much as I sing all his praises, Stephen Smith has got to face a ban, and it's got to be quite a hefty ban, I think. And as has Bancroft. Bancroft, for me, is a bit of a pawn in the whole thing. He was like, right, you're going to do it, and he was, because a young guy, probably was like, oh, I'll fit in, fine, I'll do it.
Do you think?
I think there's an element of that. I do think so, but there's such a big pride of this. Baggy green, baggy green, baggy green. I'm sorry, but that is a disgrace to the baggy green. What happened today is a disgrace to that prestigious baggy green, because and
fair play to the Aussies as well. I mean, we've got Aussie subscribers and stuff like that who watch our channel, and they said it's just not on. They said this is not what our game is and what we've brought up on. This is not what we do. So fair play to the Aussies. They're not backing it at all, because it's just
you can't.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was England, there's nothing you can possibly say.
Yeah.
To say, you know.
Well, only thing I would say is, imagine if it was South Africa, right? It was South Africa who got caught doing exactly that in this series, right? With all the animosity and bite and needle that's been in this series, imagine what the likes of Warner, the likes of Smith, Lehman would have come out and said into the media, because they're bloody good at it. They can't get enough of it, can they? When someone else messes up, they bloody love the media. Oh, they're giving an opinion and everything, right? I'll give you some examples. Ashes. Johnny Bairstow's so-called headbutt on Bancroft, right? Oh, Warner couldn't get enough of it. He couldn't shut up. Yeah, it's bad acts being out of order. Should be doing that, all this sort of stuff. Well, fine. Well, fucking no one's asked you anyway, but you love giving your opinion on it, right? It happened against when Ben Stokes' situation, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that was cool, by the way. I'm not saying that was good, but he'll have to deal with that himself. He had the whole of England against him. The whole of the world was against him. The last thing, you coming out and giving your salt in the wound, no one else did it. You didn't see A.B. de Villiers coming out and making a point about it. I know it's the Ashes and all that. That's fine, but that's you lot now. Now you're in the mire, right? You're not going to see Ben Stokes coming out in the media and being like, "Oh, shocking that." You know what is he? He's got throw the rule book at him now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's stuff like that. Virat Kohli, they were all having a real pop at Virat Kohli because he gave it back, right? And don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not saying everything he would have said would have been above board, but they were in the media. They were saying to the media saying he's this, he's that, he's this. The Cox situation, couldn't get enough of it in the media. What he said was completely out of order, and we back him, we back our guy. Da, 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 da. Well, what about now? Let's have a look at you now. You've come out and accepted. Yeah, we cheated. Yeah. Oh shit, got us.
Well, you touched at the beginning that this happened before. Now, there should be these kind of things should be stopping it happening again. For me, as cricket fans, there's so many hidden stories, right? You hear of corruption, betting and all this kind of stuff, right? And now you got this. Now it's damaging the image of the sport. Now, what do they have to do to eradicate it? Because a player can't be getting done for it twice and still, be playing. What's going to stop people doing this? As you as a cricketer,
as a cricketer, and again, not saying that I've obviously played at the Test level or anything like that. But what we'll say to you is, unfortunately, there's only two officials on the pitch, right? And that's back to first class cricket. Sometimes there's not cameras there all the time, right? So you might be in a first class game, the wicket might be flat as a witch's tit, right? Not doing a thing. Batter's paradise. You need something to happen, right? You'll see it a lot, right? People use loads of different things. There's sweets, the lacquer of the sweets. You can use Dax. People put Dax on their whites here, and they'll have someone designated doing it. So just put a bit of Dax on it, put a finger on it, give it a bit of shine. The other side as rough as you like.
So this is happening basically.
It happens. It happened on a Saturday, Sunday, Div 8 on a team. Someone would be like, right, I need to get something going. I need it to swing because otherwise we're going to be chasing leather all day. And the fun part of cricket is batting. The worst part is standing in the field, right? So you want to get off the field as quickly as possible. I've seen it happen. I've been in changing rooms where it happens all the time, right? Unfortunately, it's not something that you can stop because unless you're physically watching that ball transitioned every second that you're watching it, I'm sorry, unfortunately, and you're not going to pat every cricketer down, and you can't. It's impossible, right? So there is going to be some form of it happening. It's at the top level. It's trying to make it sure it's absolutely minimal that you don't have the opportunity. People are being watched all the time.
But surely you'd think 3-4 times before you do it if the punishment is really that severe. So for me, it's like, is it severe enough for you right now? Because if people are getting done with it twice, and now this has happened, and it's being caught red-handed, basically. So do you think it needs to be severe, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the severity is a big question, but I know this is just me playing devil's advocate. Obviously, I'm against it, and don't get me wrong, because when you're trying to bat against someone who's reversing it, it ain't pleasant. But what I'm saying is, I'm playing devil's advocate here, and this will contradict my own point, but just as purely a conversational thing. If you're an ECB member or Aussie Cricket Board member, you're looking at the situation saying, right, what we can do is we can absolutely throw the rule book at the captain. Right, for example, and the ICC as well. This will be an ICC decision. Throw the rule book at the captain, ban him for the next 2 Test series. Worst case, it won't happen, but worst case, next two Test series, you're banned. You can't play, right? So you can't play, and you can only play 50% of the first class games or whatever, right? No international cricket. Now, as an ICC representative or an ambassador of the sport, you're going to think to yourself, you know what? Test cricket is struggling at the moment at the best of times, right? If we take Stephen Smith out of the game, the Aussies, are they going to be the same side? Are people going to want to watch it? Because I know that I will do whatever it takes to watch Stephen Smith bat. Because the guy is a freak, right? You just love watching him bat.
He's number one test batsman right now.
Yeah?
So
You love watching him bat. But if he ain't playing for 2 Test series, you actually see the Australia Cricket Board, all the money that's in it, that's potentially going to be gone. Everyone's questioning Test cricket. They're going to think to themselves, right, okay, you've made a mistake. You're banned for 2 Test matches, right? And that's it. And oh, go on, get out of it, right? You don't bloody do it again. I told you, right? That's what you're kind of thinking. But like you just said, and again, this goes more in line with my point. I'm thinking, no, you've got to make an example of this, because then if someone someone on that same level, for example, would be Virat Kohli. If Virat Kohli was seen doing what Stephen Smith has done, and Stephen Smith has been given a series ban, or whatever, a 5 Test match series ban, I guarantee you Virat Kohli would be like, no, I will never be doing that. Do you know what I mean? So there's element of, there's 2 sides of the story. The one side is make the example and it won't happen again. The other side is, well, Test cricket is struggling at the moment. It's not glowing as it is. This incident alone won't help it. Don't get me wrong. But on the flip side, they might be thinking, I'll tell you what, it's drawn a lot of attention to this series and everyone wants to watch it now. So there's the business side of it and the sports side of it, but also there's the within the sport. I know as cricket players out there will be like, nah, not having it, not on, cheating, get rid of it, because people that play the sport, it's hard enough to try and graft to get runs as it is, let alone the ball is just doing anything. You've got yourself in, all of a sudden it starts hooping back in at you.
I touched on just there. My big worry is about for the sport itself. It doesn't shed a good light on the sport. I know there's corruption and cheating going on in a number of sports, but as a person looking into that, it's just, if it's almost seen as acceptable. Like I said, this punishments have happened 2 or 3 times, and it continues. And you're saying it still happens at the lower level, or things like that. So that for me is a slight worry. Now, I guess what is a question you want to ask the viewers? I mean, Aussies and English cricket fans and stuff. What is the?
Listen, my question is a couple of things. Firstly, my point with regards to the Aussies and how they've gone about the way they want to use the media in their advantage when they want to put other people down. I hope, right, and this is not me being anything against the Australia cricket, anything like that. I'm just saying it's over the years they've been the first ones to jump in and rub salt in the wound. You're gonna have to cop it now, and I'll be interested to see how you get on with it. The question I want to ask the viewers is, what is the right punishment? How do you go about going to eradicate this from the sport? What is the right punishment for someone like Stephen Smith, who has accepted that it was his decision? Lehman, the manager, does he get the sack? Do you have to get rid and say, right, well, that's not good enough? I know his contract's up anyway, so he's probably thinking, Bov. But what has to be done? That's my question I'd put out to you. This is something that really bothered me, and it's something that I really wanted to talk about. And as you can tell, it's something I'm very passionate about. So I'll be very, very interested. Please comment, subscribe and like and get back to us and let us know what you think. Peace.